What about drinking whiskey or brandy during the meal? Again, the principle that we agree upon is that anything that comes during the meal which could be considered part of the meal doesn't need its own bracha. Anything that comes after the meal, alongside of the meal, which is not really part of the meal itself, might in fact need a bracha. So about whiskey, or about brandies of different kinds. He says, on the one hand, we say that every meal implies drinking of some sort. What about the brandy? There are those who say that even during the Su'udah, while you're eating, you take a little bit of brandy, you have to make a bracha. Because the brandy is not being drunk because you're thirsty. If you were thirsty, you would drink water. Or in order to allow the food to get down in a more pleasant way, because then you would also drink a water. And therefore, since the brandy has some other purpose, there's some other pleasure that's involved in drinking the brandy, that it makes sense that you should make a bracha during the meal. On the other hand, there are those who say that the brandy as well comes to entice you to eat more, it develops an appetite, and therefore should be considered to be part of the meal. He says, all this machloket, the Mishnah Berurah says, the Mishnah Berurah is in Kuf Ayin Daled, Lametes 39, note 39 in the Mishnah Berurah. He says, this machloket about brandy and whiskey is about brandy and whiskey that you drink during the meal. But if you finish the meal and then you start drinking a little bit, and then obviously it's not part of the meal, you're drinking perhaps to ensure an easier digestion or to make yourself feel better. He says, certainly in such a case that you need to make a bracha. So again, the basic principle is it part of the meal? Is it not part of the meal? Part of the meal might mean to entice you, to enjoy it, to eat more, to develop a little bit of hunger. All of that is called part of the meal. But if you drink this yayin saraf, that the Shulchan Aruch, as the Shulchan Aruch calls it, this brandy or these spirits, you drink the spirits after you finish eating, then obviously you're not drinking it in order to eat more. You're not drinking it as really part of the meal, but it comes after the meal in order to make sure that you'll feel good having eaten a heavy meal. And in such a case, there is no doubt that you have to make a bracha. So when it comes to wine, if there's wine on the table during Kiddush, you certainly don't have to make a bracha on the wine that you drink during the meal. As far as Yayin Saraf is concerned, on Friday night, since the bracha of Kiddush is paters it, if you know that you're going to drink whiskey or brandy during the meal, then the bracha bar Priya Geffen in the Kiddush should be sufficient. After the meal, however, if you take a whiskey after the meal, before you say Birkat HaMazon, then you have to make a separate bracha on the brandy or even on the wine that you might drink that you didn't expect to drink originally.